Welcome to Headlines in Bed. Today it's Friday, January 22nd, 2021. Let's get started with the New York Times. Um, House to send singular article of impeachment to Senate on Monday, triggering a trial. Once the articles arrive, when the article arrives, Senate rules say the chamber must be transformed into a court of impeachment and sit in judgment until a verdict is reached. President Biden will issue an executive order aimed at helping families struggling to afford food and workers stay safe on the job. Here's the latest. Centerpiece. Uh, President Biden signed a host of executive orders Thursday and plans to address the economic effect on COVID-19 with another order today. Standing behind him, flanking him, is Vice President Biden and Dr. Fauci, who is uh, continuing to play and perhaps playing a bigger role in the Biden administration than he did in the Trump administration. President Biden wants to raise taxes. No surprise there, yet many Trump tax cuts are here to stay. Donald Trump has left the White House, but many of his signature tax cuts aren't going anywhere. I want to know. I want to learn more about that. Let's continue on this right inside column. Coronavirus updates. A world frozen in place as countries again clamp down. Fauci didn't mince words in his first appearance under the Biden administration. Yep, I saw a video of him saying he felt liberated working under in the Biden administration. Business updates. Big banks, Wall Street business is booming. You just have to see what the stock market did yesterday to know that's true. But consumer lending lags. The Bond film No Time to Die is delayed again as the virus stymies Hollywood. President Biden told OSHA to issue new COVID-19 guidance to employers. I understand from some reporting that I did myself early in the summer that OSHA, which is the government agency responsible for ensuring that workers' safety is workers' safety protocols are deployed and followed through, was being very lax, impacted themselves by the limitation that COVID-19 imposed on their own workers. But yep, this is going to be, I think, one of the bigger stories to come in the months ahead. Um, for a bit of analysis, Democrats and Republicans are not united on Unite. President Biden seeks bipartisan, but it's cut between Republicans who want tangible concessions and Democrats who are in no mood to compromise. Yeah, I want to see how this whole concept of unity um, plays out. I think the Republicans are crafting their own meaning for it to serve their own purposes, and we'll see what the Democrats how they define unity and how they uh, move forward with that, deploying that definition. Restoring environmental rules could take years. President Biden promised to reinstate more than 100 regulations aimed at environmental protection that President Donald Trump dismantled. This is how corporate America views President Biden. We don't we don't know what that is because the graphic or the picture is not loading up. So we'll just keep going. U.S. coronavirus cases are falling, but variants could erase progress. Some health experts see a turning point as new cases slow, but they warn of a bumpy vaccination rollout with more contagious variants emerging. Fauci is back and aiming to let the science speak, using the kind of language that often infuriated former President Donald Trump. Dr. Anthony Fauci said the threat of the virus was still very serious. Um, Looking at this carousel of photos, America's salad bowl becomes fertile ground for COVID-19. I like that headline. America's salad bowl becomes fertile ground for COVID-19. Arizona's Yuma County, at the juncture of Mexico and California, has had the most cases per capita of any metro area over the course of the pandemic. And I want to know how many of those are farm workers and how many of those farm workers have received proper care. Um, a quick snapshot of the virus, and then we'll go over to the opinion page section rather. In the United States, yesterday's data: new cases 190,630, new deaths 4,142. That represents an 11% increase in the last 14 days. Um, let's move over to the opinion page. Peter Wagner: the end of Trump can be the beginning of America. I broke down sobbing. It's been a long 5.5 years. I think many people can relate to that. Farhad Manjoo: finally, a president acknowledges white supremacy. The first step in preventing right-wing violence is recognizing it as a major threat. Paul Krugman: the corrupt, the clueless, and Joe Biden. Huh, interesting. David Brooks: the case for Biden optimism. Timothy Egan: a president can govern in poetry. Cute, but he's not poetic. Biden, that is. Um, let's see. Samantha Hunt: imagine America as a teenage girl. That I want to read because I've always thought that America is a teenage boy who's always um, naive and eager to learn and eager to change and eager to forget. Jamel Bowie: we have to make the Republican Party less dangerous. Here, here. Ezra Klein: Democrats, here's how it lose in 2022 and deserve it. I thought that was yesterday's uh, opinion. The 46th Joe Biden to the rescue plan. We don't know what that is. Claudia Shah put the money printer on autopilot. Interesting. After Biden's inauguration, pride and relief. We don't know what that is. Lloyd Austin um, is confirmed as Defense Secretary. Excuse me. Mr. Austin, who is now the first black Pentagon chief, is taking up a critical national security position in President Biden's cabinet. And that is breaking news because I think it happened recently this morning, East Coast time. In her words, a cabinet that looks like America. President Biden's cabinet is more diverse than those in the last 4 administrations, modernizing what has long been a white male institution. Well, modernizing, I'm not sure is the right word to use. Um, Reflecting, making it more relevant. Modernization, to me, speaks to technology. And I think the Biden administration has a lot of work in their hands to make this administration a more technologically modern administration, starting with the rollout of the vaccine. 3 states order National Guard troops to return from Washington. The governors of Texas, Florida, and New Hampshire made the orders after some Guard members working the inauguration were told to sleep in a parking garage. Wow. For some prosecutors, former President Donald Trump's clemency decisions were a kick in the teeth. The picture shows National Guard troops marching near the U.S. Capitol in Washington on Thursdays. Can someone please open the door? The Bidens awkwardly awaited in front of a closed door when they arrived at the White House. A short moment that did not go unnoticed in Washington. That was awkward. The doors, the photo shows the first couple outside of the White House are waiting for the doors to be opened. The doors to the White House were closed when President Biden and the First Lady, Dr. Biden, arrived on Wednesday. The picture line says Jill Biden, I changed it to Dr. Biden, which is her title. Uh, Hank Aaron, home run king, who defied racism, dies at 86. Hank Aaron was among the greatest all-around players in baseball history, earning his home run record in the face of hate mail and even death threats. Everybody loves Fran, but why? Fran Lebowitz offers her take on New York in Netflix series, but for a city that is changing, the shtick remains the same. Gianna Belafonte writes, last time I was in New York, quick story, last time I was in New York, um, walking around the Lower East Side, I stood behind Fran, waiting for the light to change to cross the street, not once, but twice. And I had dinner at a restaurant where she was having dinner, this little small place, super delicious on the Lower East Side. Um, I almost went ahead and introduced myself the third time that I ran into her, saying that the stars are lining up. We must we must meet. We must work together. I didn't do it. I regret it. And I think we're gonna jump over to. I'll let you guys uh, browse the other sections of the New York Times, but we're gonna jump over to Fox News. My goal is actually to deliver 15-minute videos. I know yesterday's inaugural video was almost half an hour, and my goal is going to be to do 15-minute videos. So we're on track, I think. Um, Time to go reads the main headline. GOP governors order National Guard home from DC amid outrage over troops banished to parking garage. Um, we read that in the New York Times as well. Um, I think it's interesting how all news outlets are going to dramatize this point, but let us not forget that the National Guard, um, men and women, trained to sleep in worse places that a well insulated, well built parking garage. So let's just keep it in context and don't let the media dramatize something that doesn't need to be dramatized. Um, Saudi Arabia first. Biden's executive order killing U.S. energy project is just the beginning. Senator Daines says. Republicans from Western states pan Biden order to revoke Keystone pipeline permit. Tucker Carlson, Biden cancels Keystone pipeline, opens the border, and shows who he really is. Skunky scoop. CNN repeated debunked anti-Trump vaccine rollout story 47 times. It's a report. New York Times cancels editor's contract after she rips Trump's pettiness over Biden plane. Report. New York Times contributor loses think tank job over tweet suggesting Biden should lynch Mike Pence. Wow, it's interesting. Fox spends a lot, like two half of the real estate of their main section criticizing other media rather than sharing the news. Left's quiet riot. Big networks barely mention Antifa's inaugural insurgents in Portland, Seattle. It's a good point, though. I'd like to understand what happened in Seattle. Politics. Schumer says Pelosi to deliver Trump impeachment article on Monday, triggering trial amidst standoff with McConnell. I understand from reading other sources that McConnell will be urging, if he hasn't already, for the House to hold off sending the article of impeachment until February. Kimberly Strassel, hours after Biden inauguration, Democrats proved they have no intention of playing by the rules. Politics. Rubio, Biden is governing like someone from the far left. or Rubio. Senate confirms Biden's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, first Black Pentagon chief. You know, this is interesting. I like this kind of headline, which is just factual. Politics. White House blows off criticism after Biden family violate his mask mandate. Economy. AOC demands Biden cancel student loan debt after he extends payment freeze. Uh, I let's have debate on that. I don't think that canceling debt for students who may have irresponsibly gotten into debt is the right thing to do. U.S. They destroyed whatever they can. Portland business owners revealed devastating damage caused by the riots. Business leaders, New York prices will have to increase, billionaire supermarket owner warns. U.S. 3 dead in military helicopter crash where experienced pilots. Politics. Angel mom slams Biden immigration order as a spitting on the faces of every legal immigrant. I haven't read Biden's immigration bill. My goal is to do it today, so I cannot react to this. Politics. Donald Trump, Melania Trump celebrate 16 years of marriage. A look back at their lavish wedding. Lifestyle. New York jeweler shares Tiffany Trump engagement ring details. Politics. Biden administration suspends new oil and gas permits leases for 60 days. Politics. Newsom held back details about massive N95 mask contract with China-based firm. Entertainment. Ted Cruz gets into a Twitter feud with Seth Rogen over Paris climate agreement. Sports. Mark Cuban said there's only one way he'll run for president in 2024. He's a Republican, I believe, right? Okay, thank you, Fox. We're going to move over to ABC News for our third outlet today. Centerpiece. Biden takes step to require federal contractors pay $15 minimum wage. $15 minimum wage. And I think I'm frozen, but I hope you guys can hear me. That expression in which I got frozen is funny, so I'm just going to leave it there and keep going. Biden takes step to require federal contractors pay $15 minimum wage. The order is among many executive actions taken in his first day of office. Middle has its moment as Biden pitches plan, the note. I don't know what the heck that means. Biden draws contrast with Trump, sets tone on truthfulness and respect analysis. GOP representative with gun sets off House metal detector. Alabama deals with the deadliest week during the pandemic. This shows how ignorant I am on the U.S. state. Pennsylvania lawmakers to remove statue of segregationists. If someone knows, if I got it wrong, please someone correct me. Former Make-A-Wish Iowa CEO arrested for theft. Well, let's see what his or her wish will be. Home sales rise in 2020 to highest in 14 years. 3 dead in military crash were experienced pilots. Globe may review past stories, cites racial equity. Man pleads guilty to death of 36 partygoers. Man pleads guilty to deaths of 36 partygoers. Whoever is writing these headlines. Tire falls from plane into Chicago neighborhood. Wow. Rare gold coin sells for $3.36 million in Texas auction. Secret Service protection extended to Trump family. Let's find out what the cost for that will be. And it seems like my screen froze at another place. Apple appeals court revisits Texas. Uh, and I think that will be all for today. Um, yeah, I'll let you guys. For GOP firebrand Representative Lauren Boebert, anger and suspicion lingers after Capitol. I'll let you guys browse the rest of the site. Well, that is all for today. Um, that is Headlines in Bed for today. Uh, hope to see you here tomorrow. Thank you. See you soon.